It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, it's the weekend. Give yourselves a hand. Thank you for watching. Yes, and the crowd goes crazy. It's the weekend. TGIF, thank God it is Friday. I know I said it the first time. I got to say it again. It's so nice. I got to say it twice, maybe 3 times the weekend. Baby, TGIF. That means thank God it's Friday. We don't call it Friday. It's Friday. Yay, it's Friday. Unless you are orange jumpsuit jackass Hitler. Because it has not been a good week when it comes to sisters. I told you, black women have magic. Black women magic, especially in positions of power. Y'all just, the society, do everything you can to get them out. Call them DEI, diversity, inclusion, or diversity, equity, inclusion hires. Well, I've got some diversity, equity, and inclusion for your ass. How about 453.5 million worth of it? I will talk about that in a second. The Geno Jones Show. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. out on the West Coast. Subscribe. Tell everybody, or as my man Ellie would say, tell everybody. You know, all your family, your friends, your cousins, your co-workers, your colleagues, your church members, fraternity, sorority, brothers and sisters, Eastern Stars, Masons, strangers, aliens from outer space. I don't give a damn. Tell them all. This right here is Must See TV. Live. As a matter of fact, when I'm on live, if you got a question or comment, jump in my chat room and post your question, post your comment, write, say what you want to say. Feel free. You can even come for me if you don't agree or like what I say. However, please understand, if you come for me and I didn't send for you, I'm going to send your ass right back where you came from, and do it with a smile. Yes, that's how we get down. Of course, on Fridays, my number one co-host, number one in your heart, number one in your program, and number one in your heart, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Keela Carson, coming up. Keela Carson in minutes. Stand by. So, let's just jump. Let's get it off the dome, off the top. So, you know, orange jumpsuit jackass Hitler, a.k.a. Donald John Jackass Trump, facing 91 felony charges, including cases in Fulton County, Georgia, election interference trial, where it was 19 of them, and like 3 of them already copped a plea. Well, in New York, this dude was facing so many, 4 felony trials, not to mention the civil trials. So today, there was a ruling there was a final decision in a civil case. New York State Attorney General Letitia James, black woman handling her business, another sister handling her business. So this trial had been going on, this civil trial. So Mr. Orange Hitler himself had already been found basically guilty. It's not a criminal trial, a civil trial, found liable for fraud. Because basically he had been lying to banks and just lying and saying his properties were worth like 1,000 times more than what they were. Some outrageous number. You know, overvaluing these properties, you know, multiple times, like multiple 100 times more than they were. So he could get, you know, better interest rates from like banks in New York State, or banks primarily in New York State. So anyway, so today, since he was already found, now let me explain what a bench trial is. A bench trial means it's just the judge is sitting on the bench. He is the judge and the jury. So Mr. Trump, and why am I being nice? Jackass, orange jackass, he was found liable or guilty of fraud, him and the company and his sons. So it was just a matter of the judge determining how much money would Mr. Orange Jackass be fined for engaging in fraud, he, his sons, and his company? Now, Letitia James, the New York State's attorney, said that she was asking for like somewhere around $350 million, saying that the company, since it was found liable or guilty of defrauding the state of New York, should be fined. The company should be fined around $350 million. Well, the judge came back with his ruling and said that Mr. Orange Jumpsuit Jackass Hitler and his company will be fined $453.5 million. And he bans Trump and his sons from doing business. No Trump company can do business in the state of New York, at least Donald Trump, for 3 years. If karma's a slow bitch, but she'll eventually show up, was a person, he'd have that orange spray tan bronzer shit on his face, with his gut out to here, drinking cases of Diet Coke and hamburgers and all kind of unhealthy stuff. So, now speaking of black women, and Mr. Trump, Mr. Orange Jumpsuit Jackass Hitler, let's go down to Fulton County, Georgia, where Fani Willis, the Fulton County DA, this sister, if F around and find out is a person, she would look like Fani Willis. She really would. So basically, some of Trump's attorneys are trying to get her basically disqualified, removed from the trial. And basically, her and her office, they're trying to basically just say, we want to disqualify you, so this is going in front of a judge in Fulton County, Georgia, because Fani Willis had a relationship with a what they call a special prosecutor. So this is somebody that she hired. She said herself, he wasn't her first choice. As a matter of fact, a former governor, a white dude that was former governor of Georgia, state of Georgia, turned it down because he just punked out. Was like, man, I'm afraid of the MAGA. I'm paraphrasing. I'm afraid of the MAGA cult members. They're crazy. They might try to harm me or my family. So he punked out. So she hired this brother. She hired him, and then they eventually developed. They'd known each other. They were friends without benefits. Then they eventually developed a romantic relationship that lasted for a while. So Trump's attorneys is trying to say, well, she should be removed from the case because she hired this dude and then she financially benefited from hiring him because they took trips together and all that. But somehow Trump's attorneys had to prove that this relationship, and if there was any kind of financial kickbacks, that she was being somehow, he was breaking her off and like taking care of her, putting her up. Like all the money, he bringing it, to her and giving it to her. But somehow that had to be proven. The law states that relationship would have to be proven that somehow by convicting Donald Trump, that Fani Willis would benefit financially. Well, they tried the sister. Like I said, if F around and find out was a person, it was Fani Willis in that courtroom. To where she wound up, she was prosecuting the attorneys that was trying to jam her up. She was like, hold on, let me explain, I'm paraphrasing, let me explain the law to you all. I'm not on trial. You all are on trial because your ass and your client tried to steal this election in Georgia and he interfered with our election. So he's on trial, along with 16 or 15 other of these jackasses. I am not on trial. So y'all can good luck with that. And in terms of money, dude wasn't keeping me. Matter of fact, I kept money. My daddy taught me to always keep some money in my house. Like 6 months worth of money. 6 months worth of money to cover all my rent, car note, whatever all my monthly expenses was. My daddy told me to make sure that I got enough money to cover 6 months of everything. So she kept cash around the house because that's what her daddy taught her. By the way, they put her daddy on the stage, on the stand today in the hearing, not to be played with. Brother 80, got all of his faculties, quick, sharp. I had a fellowship at Harvard back in the day and talked about how he had to deal with racism, where he had an American Express card and a Visa card, and the racists in Cambridge, Massachusetts, because remember, he was going to Harvard. They wouldn't take his card, but guess what? He broke that cash out and paid for, I guess, a breakfast for him and Fani's mother and little Fani when she was a young girl. So just shout out to her. So what I want to do, I got some other stuff I want to talk about. Got some birthdays, but we'll get to that later. Let's not waste any time. We're talking about black woman magic, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Okay, Howard Stern might have Robin Quivers, and CBS may have Gayle King, and Steve Harvey may have Shirley Strawberry. Regis might have Kathy Lee, even though she isn't black. Desi Arnaz had Lucy. She isn't black, but it doesn't matter. But you've had all these duos, but nobody has Keela Carson right there. You see her beautifully melanated on camera, got the locks locking, got the melanin glowing. How are we doing?
I'm good, Geno. When you said Regis, I had to think. I was like, is Regis dead? I think he's dead.
Well, he had Kathy Lee back.
Yeah. Well, he had Kathy Lee.
Desi's dead.
Yeah, you're right. Desi dead too.
But these legendary couples in the pop culture.
Sure, absolutely. The greats.
Yes.
And I'm glad to be mentioned among them.
Yes.
No matter what they are, dead or alive. I mean, it's good to just be in that company.
So I was going to talk. I'm gonna shout out Frankie Beverly later. I got some birthday shout outs, but this Fani Willis thing got me so amped up. I called Keela last night. Cause, we have our pre-show meetings. It's usually like 3 or 4 hours before the show, but I'm like the night before. I'm like, she was asleep, getting her beauty nap that she doesn't need. But anyway.
I was asleep. I said, who is this calling me at 5:45 in the afternoon? I'm in the bed sleep. I was knocked out, Geno. But I mean, listen, it's this is nothing new. And first I'm gonna do this without race. Okay. Any good legal team is going to have to come up with something in order to, push back on accusers. That's just the way it works in the legal world, right? So I'm not surprised. However, the personal attack on Fani.
Okay. Now wait, let me stop you because this is important. Yes. You and I didn't get a chance to talk about this before the show. You probably heard about it. Speaking of personal attacks, and it's special when it comes from somebody that looks like you. This, hair texture like yours.
Yeah, it's the house nigga thing.
Yeah, come on now. So there's this woman. She is a black conservative who wrote this column, her opinion. For Newsweek, named Kira, I guess it got to be Kira Davis, who basically said that Fani Willis is an embarrassment to black people, and she's proof that DEI, that's diversity, equity, and inclusion, only hurts us. Heifer, speak for yourself, because the only person that embarrassed black folks is black people, house Negroes, handkerchief head house Negroes, like Keela said, like you. Now, I didn't know if you heard that, but
I did not, but
that just really set me off, Key. That's why, let me get Keela on the phone.
Yeah, it falls in line with what I'm saying. You, when you have these kinds of cases, which we don't have a lot, by the way, because we're not on this kind of stage. in a lot of cases. Okay, so we are front and center, but where we are front and center, you always got to attack our culture. Okay, and
And the personal attacks, like you said,
yeah,
kid,
and that's
please,
where I'm going.
you speak to that as a black woman, because I know
That's
you've
where I'm
had your
going.
fair share having to deal with it.
And the number one way to hit a black woman is in the bedroom. Okay, her pocketbook, or her psyche, her smarts, her mind, her, you know, her wherewithal,
Dr.
right?
Claudine Gay,
That's right.
They railroaded her. She was the president of Harvard. They weren't happy having
That's
this black woman as president. So they just to,
That's right.
just to,
You're dumb,
to
you're stupid,
amplify
you're
and co-sign on
ignorant.
your point. Yeah.
That's right. You're ignorant, you don't know the law, you don't know what you're doing. Nice try, but
you're not
yes,
qualified.
You're inferior in some way. So it's the same old
playbook
games, same old games, different day, but the same old games. So I am glad that she was prepared. But as far as let's say image goes, this is to me no different than Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. This is a blue dress with a stain that nobody cares about. I don't care who Fani is freaking. Okay, I was gonna say another word. I don't care who Fani. I don't care. What I care about is the eye on the prize, and the prize is the criminal activity by Donald Trump during the election in Georgia. Period. That's all.
And his associates, the 15 other folks that's on trial. Because now, Key, since we went there, because 3 of them have already copped the plea. They didn't already like, hey.
They're like, we out of here.
It was them. It wasn't us. What y'all want?
Right. And I mean, Donald Trump is on the phone. We hear him. What is who Fani sleeping with what does that have to do with anything that we know he said, we know he wanted to do?
Come on, guys. I just need 11,780 votes. Come on. Find them on tape.
Right.
It wasn't no AI.
That's
tape.
right.
It was Donald John Jackass Trump
live
on tape. And think about this, Key. Think about
wait a minute. And his own party taped it.
There you go. Come on. Great minds think alike. That's the area I was about. Come on now.
And his own race taped it.
Right there.
His own ethnicity, I should say, taped it. So cut the crap. This was not some conspiracy by black people to bring down Trump. This was black people, by coincidence,
come on,
seeing an opportunity where wrong was done, a crime was committed, and abiding by the law. Now, we have been stuck with the letter of the law all of our black
ass lives.
to the letter of the law. You jaywalking, you're going to jail. What? I'm in front of my house. You should have crossed at the corner. You're going to jail.
Now, otherwise, other folks without melanin, what law? The law don't apply to what?
Right. Oh, well, that was just Jimmy. He just trying to get across the street. Why go to the corner? Little Timmy can do. So I don't want to hear about, I don't care about, and most people don't. We don't care about Fani's love life. We don't care about her financial situation in that it doesn't have anything to do with this case. Therefore, I don't care what Fani made, did not make, how she spent her money. As far as I'm concerned, she could have had a relationship with it. I don't care. Donald Trump and his supporters committed a crime. And that's all I care to hear about. And I'll let you, and I'll pause and let you move to the next subject because I'm done with that. Hey to Fani, and hey to New York with that case. I know it's civil.
Letitia James.
Yes, and I know it's a civil case, and so as far as criminality goes, that's the sticking point where you can't stick them for being president, right? Because it wasn't a criminal case.
Well,
However,
okay, because I want to. You went somewhere, and I don't know. Well, you finish your thought.
Okay, so let me finish my thought, and we'll backtrack.
Right.
But, however, we know what a house of cards is like, and once one house starts to fall, they're going to start, and they've already started to fall. And I mean, when you start to talk, I'm gonna bring up some of these other cases because there are like a gajillion. I think you mentioned they all over the place.
91 counts.
Okay, and he cannot operate any business in New York for 3 years, I believe. 3 years. Or his sons, because it's not just him. It's the business that really technically was attacked. So it's him, his sons, and any of the associates that were connected to that business.
The Trump organization.
That's right. So everybody has got to cough it up. This 350 million, whatever.
453.5 million.
Okay, Geno, like, don't get it twisted.
No, we're not gonna short the state of New York. That's what the judge said, and the judge wasn't a black woman. Okay, just for the record, it was an old white dude. They were around him and Trump around the same age, but he's like,
no. And the law, at least not today. I hope in the future. I pray to God in the future, and even you know what, I'm not gonna have to worry about praying for God because I think we're gonna handle this, just like the attorneys that took down Gotti and Al Capone. You know, first you go for the straight line. Okay, these are criminals who are selling liquor or drugs or whatever, right?
Gambling,
but we can't get them on that. So we're gonna go to racketeering, and that's how I want everybody to think about what is going on with Donald J. Trump. These black women, and I'm gonna cock my head because I'm like, go sister, go. Okay, these black women are like, okay, we can't get you this way. We're going to get you this way. And so you can try to, no, don't worry about it. We're going to get you. And they are finding ways that they can win. And that's what good law is about. It's about how can I win the case? Okay. And although some of these other charges that they're sticking to Trump are not sexy, right? They're not sexy, just like Al Capone, tax evasion, that's not sexy, but it does the trick because Capone and Gotti both died in jail.
That's true. And just for the record, for those who may wonder, even if by some chance he found himself back at 1600 Pennsylvania, he got to pay this fine.
I don't think it's gonna happen, Geno.
I don't either. But I'm I'm explaining. He can't pardon this away. He can't wipe it away. He can't get his attorney general. Can't nobody.
No.
When you get through with all that, you need to run us that 453.5 million.
Yeah. Anything that happens in the Southern District of New York or in these other states in Georgia or whatever, there is no pardon.
And the same. I'm glad you brought up in Fulton County. Those are state charges. Ain't no pardon.
No.
You can't even pardon yourself.
You got to suck. What do we say? You got to eat that.
Yeah.
He's going to have to eat that.
You're going to have to raise your hand and own that one. It's yours. So like we said, to quote my queen, who I have to give credit for, I took last week, who never talks about stuff like this, but she said, karma's a slow bitch, but she'll eventually show up.
And get your tail. Okay? And listen, I know a couple people that didn't piss me off, and you might be watching. That karma is coming for you. Okay. I have seen it happen to people. It has been years, months, weeks, and I went, ooh. And I went, you had that coming. You can't live the kind of life Trump has lived and not at some point pay the piper. It's R. Kelly. You gotta, you can't keep doing
Harvey Weinstein is whoever, Jeffrey Epstein
whoever,
whoever it is.
Whoever it is.
And the cool thing about karma, Key, karma
it doesn't discriminate.
Right, so I was gonna say karma. Karma ain't colorblind. Karma is not racist. It's not anti-Semitic. It ain't misogynistic. It ain't sexist. Karma don't give a damn because guess why? You know why? Because karma is your energy.
That's right. It's what you put out. Yeah, you put this out, so clearly you wanted it back. And it's a boomerang that is never, ever not going to show up on your tail.
And whether you wanted it back or not, whether you even thought thought that you was arrogant and I'm untouchable. Okay.
Yeah, it's coming. So, good luck with that, Donald Trump. And
so let me say this.
So you go ahead, and I'm gonna be looking at these cases because he got so many.
Before we move on, because there was a moment, especially. So how much of the video of Fani Willis when she was sitting in that not witness stand, but I guess you could say it, but it was a hearing, it wasn't a trial, but when she was being grilled by the attorneys.
No, what I did was read it.
Oh.
But I
got it.
And then once I read it, Geno, I was like, ooh, I need to watch today. But then she said, well, I'm not going to take the stand.
Well, you got to go back and watch yesterday.
Okay.
Because like I said, if F around and find out was a person,
but I read it and I saw the pictures and the captions of her.
Don't do it no justice.
The faces that one shot with her like this.
Yeah.
Like, what do you say? Don't come for me unless I send for you.
Don't come for me if I didn't send for you. But if you come for me and I didn't send for you, I'm gonna send your ass back where you came from.
That's right.
And do it with a smile.
And that was clear. And but you know what? To me, really, what that was, because it reminded me of Kamala during the debate with Pence years ago, right? When Kamala was like, okay, nah, wait, hold up. And that is a part of the way Black women react to being attacked. It's our defense. And what you need to know, if you're going to do that, you better be darn sure that Black woman has not been preparing for 3 fucking years for you. Okay? And I'm sorry, my because normally, I watch my.
Come on now, it's okay. Listen.
When we know that we are about to face something, like, we will go to work on knowing, preparing, looking for every nook and cranny, whichever way you're gonna come at us, we're preparing. So you better be ready. Because we're ready. Okay? Because we're used to being attacked. We're used to being accused. We're used to being not believed. We're used to being lied upon.
As Malcolm X said, the most unprotected, unheard, disrespected, devalued, I'm paraphrasing that quote in his speech, in America is a Black woman.
It's a woman. Black woman.
But Key, I got to say this. I'm going to need you this weekend. You got to go back. It's nothing like seeing it, because I'm watching this and I'm seeing Mary Dixon. As a matter of fact, initially I was saying Fani Willis is channeling her inner Mary Dixon, because I've seen that in my mother. I've seen it in my baby sister. Sure. I've seen it in my baby girl, my daughter. I've seen it in you. I've seen it. Like you said, it's like, okay, we going to do this? All right. Y'all want this? I'm going to give you exactly what you want.
I'm going to give it to you. Yeah. Yeah. You want it? Here it is. Okay. And you better come prepared.
But because it was so funny. It was so bad. So first of all, they tried to put up this younger white woman. Fani was cross-examining her. She's like, liar, 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 and I'm not on trial. Your client is on trial for trying to steal an election. They
the mistake.
And then they had like these old or crusty white dudes. And basically, they all start asking the same question, until the judge said, all right, listen, stop, enough. You've already asked that question. You all have already asked Same question. Five people trying to asking the same question.
The mistake that people make, and I'm talking about racists, and and not just racist, people who don't even know they're racist. Okay, that part.
And you got to throw in the sexism and misogyny.
All of that.
Top of it. Because
you're
dealing with black women, because y'all got to get the double whammy.
All of it. But the big mistake that they make, and I cannot reiterate this enough, is they don't prepare. We have been told all of our lives that we had to be faster, better, gooder.
10 times better, yep.
More. And so therefore, when we know we're going to be up against the wall, we're coming with so much preparedness until it's frightening. So you can't come in with that lackadaisical C quality George W. Bush education.
That C minus preparation.
Okay, you cannot. That what do they say? Piss poor preparation.
Yep.
Okay.
Prepares you for poor performance. Yep.
Exactly. So you cannot come in with that attitude when you are getting ready to come up against an educated Black woman. Because before she could even be in that room with you, you don't know the hoops of the law Fani had to jump through to get there. What she had to know. If you skimmed over the book, you better believe she read it deeply, kept notes, and memorized it. So that's the mistake you make. You underestimate, I guess is the short, quick version of what I just said. The underestimation is unbelievable to me. How dumb, I mean, do you think this woman is dumb? Of course you did. That's why you came in the court like this.
That part. All of that.
Yep. So, and it backfired because now you look spectacularly, and now you look dumb.
And it was so cold-blooded. So today, everybody thinking that she was going to trial, and her attorney said, "No, we good."
Yep, we're not. Yep, we're not even here.
Go ahead among yourselves.
Do your thing.
Yep, we're good.
Yep. Do your thing.
And then
go ahead and incriminate yourself or get yourself all twisted up in a mess that you got to explain. And like Fani said, I don't have to do anything. That's you. You've got to prove your case.
And then they brought her dad on, and it turns out her dad was, I think at one time her dad was a judge. He was an attorney.
Yep. And he was living in Africa for a while and since come back. But he said, I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't know that guy that you claiming she's the.
And he did the humble brag. While I had a fellowship at Harvard.
Right. While I was hanging out in Africa before I came back.
Just letting you know. And this man, 80, but he was sharp. I mean.
But this is how we have to show up.
Yep.
And when we do, trust and believe it's going to be a massacre, and it won't be us.
So shout out to Fani. Shout out to New York State Attorney Letitia James. Yeah. Black women, y'all handle this. All right, so look. Now, since we were on the subject of black women, I know there was some stuff it was a topic we wanted to address. I cede my time. I cede my time to you if you want to cover this at all.
So I'm not gonna belabor this because we did a whole show on Monique and black people supporting each other, paying each other fairly. We talked about Cat Williams.
Yeah, we did. That's true. You're right.
Oprah. When we did a whole thing on it. So
we covered it. We talked about some other stuff, but we didn't take the deep dive. That it was right at the end of the show. We were going to take the dive.
So I'm acknowledging that yes, the audience, you have heard us on this topic, but I want to say that black women not letting go of this Monique, finally people are going, okay, Monique, you know what? Applause to you for sticking it out, because Monique is the perfect example of, okay, let me put it this way. Civil rights was a slow process.
Oh my God.
Right? When we look at
Still
it, we
is,
read it.
because we can't even get
Right.
the voting rights and the civil rights. We can't even get those acts
Exactly.
renewed.
So it's still ongoing, but I'm talking about that process in the 60s, and 70s.
Or the 50s. Let's
Well,
think about Rosa
well,
Parks.
I mean, let's we not really go all the way back. I'm talking about that era that we call civil rights movement, right?
The
Just
peak
that
in the
blip.
60s, kind of right
Right.
before the Voting Rights Act of 64,
Exactly.
Civil Rights Act of 65, and fair. Yep.
This is a slow process. So when you put that, and people don't get all bunched up in yourself saying, Kilo, you can't be compared this to civil. Yes, I can. Because Monique, the first time she mentioned Precious, what year did Precious come out?
Oh my God.
Was that
She
20
won the
years
Academy
ago?
Award for that.
Not 20, but close to 20 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know if it was that long. It's been a minute. It's been a while.
Well, listen, it's close to 20. My daughter is 24. It came out when my daughter was a little girl.
Okay. All
So
right.
it's getting up there.
You might be.
Now
Yeah,
you
I
can
can't.
look
It's
it up.
been so long. I can't even really remember.
So Monique has been. My point is, it's more than 5 years, 10 years.
Yeah.
So Monique has been saying steady on the same message. In order for things to change, you have to stay committed to the message. Monique has been writing that same message. And people like, girl, would you shut up? Would you shut up? Much like they tell Al Sharpton, dude, would you stop marching? Would you stop marching? Would you stop marching? The point I'm trying to make is we love the results, but we don't like the fight.
Yeah.
And Monique has been in this fight, and it's a unique fight because it's a fight against our own people.
How when in many cases when we get in power, we treat each other
Yes.
like the oppressors treat us. We adapt their behavior, their mentality, their ideology, their business practices, their
who was oh God, Samuel Jackson's character in Candy
Stephen in
Django. Stephen, man.
Well,
it's that.
Well, Master, what the hell you mean we?
We feeling okay, Master? Do we need to eat, Master? So it's that same mentality. And so Monique called it out. She said, listen, Lee Daniels, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, you're not paying people fairly. You certainly didn't pay me fairly. I don't know about other people. So fast forwarding to today, she did Cat Williams did his thing, and then Monique piggybacked with her thing on the Shay show. And listen, it is not going away. Now, we know that Taraji accused Oprah of, well, not Oprah. She accused The Color Purple of not paying her, offering her a decent salary, so that we are to assume she had to go back in and say, let me counter. And then she got something closer to what she wanted. But now it's Vivica A. Fox. Somebody asked her when she was, out and about the situation, and then Gabrielle Union got involved. And so this is something that I believe is going to be a topic of conversation for a minute. Because now that we are moving on up, right? Jay-Z, matter of fact, another person who was accused, P. Diddy, accused of jamming up people. But for years, people been saying Diddy don't pay. And
he was on some whole next level Harvey Weinstein, R. Kelly.
Okay, and we can go back to Barry Gordy and and how people accuse
wow, that's a
him
good
of.
one, Key. Yes.
Okay, so I mean, this is not new. That when we get in a place of position, a position of power, a position to pay, that we undercut ourselves and do the same talk that where you should be happy just to be here.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
And I have never said that if a Black were in a position that they can afford to pay the same amount as bigger companies owned by Caucasians and other ethnicities. Never said that, because we may not have that capital, but we can darn sure do better than what we do.
And
Because
especially once you get on that level. Yeah.
if Tyler Perry can go up in the Walmart, and you brought this up the last time we talked about it, if he can go up in the Walmart and buy everybody who had something in
Everybody's
their
stuff in
basket,
layaway.
that's right. He can pay for all of that. He can pay the actors in his movies something better. That's all I'm saying.
You probably heard. So there's talk about those who work at Tyler Studios. They're trying to form a union. I heard that this week.
Look at my head. I'm just get you, Geno. When you get some money, make me a bobblehead. And just let me sit there and do this on Tyler's desk. That part.
Yeah.
We got to do better, because that karma that you talked about, that's going to come back.
Yes. Come on.
You have an opportunity to do right by your people. Doing the bare minimum is not doing right by your people.
And you, as a Black person, got to understand that, because you didn't start off at the top.
That's right.
When Tyler did his first play, he lost money. He talked about how he slept in his car,
right,
and how depressed he was.
Right.
And Oprah's humble beginnings in Mississippi and everything she went through personally, and started off, working in radio and was working in Nashville. So it's like, come on now.
But they think that has to be everybody's story, and it doesn't. Everybody's story is not that they had to sleep in a car, and that the person who went to school every day and then found student loans to go to college and now wants to get into broadcast or media or whatever deserves to be paid. They don't have to have that story of sleeping in the car and being homeless. And why does that have to be the story? That was your story so that you could make sure that it's not that kid's story.
Come on, that part, I can say, say less. You said it for me. Just what I was about to say.
That's all.
But, that speaks to who people are at their core, in their DNA. And that goes to show you that being selfish, greed, things like that, knows no ethnicity. It's not racist or anti-Semitic or sexist or misogynist. Women, men, Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, folks from India, China, all power. We say absolute power corrupts absolutely, but it doesn't have to, Key.
It doesn't.
But it speaks to who you. I guess the best way to explain is, I talked about it so many times. They say, "Oh, money changes you." No. Money. Listen. All right. I want you all to. I'm looking directly into this camera. Please look at me, and please hear what I'm saying. Money will never change who you are at your core. Whoever you are, the person, whatever your true character, whatever is in your soul, your DNA, if you were a generous, benevolent person with no money, you will be benevolent and generous and fair with money. If you become a billionaire 100 times over, if you were selfish, greedy, constantly, trying to con somebody, always hustling somebody, grift, trying to con somebody out of money, if you were doing that with no money, you will do the same thing when you get millions.
Yes.
Need we
Period.
look any further?
Nope.
An
I
orange
mean,
jumpsuit Hitler.
okay. So last thing on how we are never appreciated for what we bring to the table. I'll end with this. The numbers came out on Usher.
Come on. I know. Come on.
The Usher Bowl, as Geno called it. And it was the highest viewership that they had seen in ever.
Right. It was the
Okay.
most. It was the highest, the most viewed television program out of all, from Gunsmoke and the Cosby Show and I Love Lucy and any other Super Bowl and you name it. Michael Jackson's 30, whatever was on TV, Bonanza. I Spy. You name your favorite.
Did you say
program.
Bonanza?
No TV program had higher viewership than the Super Bowl.
Now, when the day after the Super Bowl, the posts start coming out. Oh, the highest watched, and so I read a post. I said, let me see what they say, and I was ready. Oh, Kelsey or whoever he is.
Yep, Travis Kelsey, Taylor Swift. Oh, Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah.
She did it.
Oh, right. And I'm reading and I'm waiting for at least one line about Usher.
So me too. I'm still waiting.
So I had to get on my computer and my phone and go, wait. You do know that Usher was the halftime show. So I said, okay, I want to see the breakdown because that's how we have to do. You can't just give us credit. We got to go and parse out our credit.
We got to bring the receipts, Key. We got to bring the receipts.
They broke down the viewership by section because the black folk got on the internet and said, wait, whoa. You could have just left it alone and said Usher and everybody. But since you're going to leave out Usher, because there was no mention of Usher in terms of why the numbers were so high, right? No credit at all. But since you left them all the way out, now we got to go to work on you. So they had to parse out and go, well, yeah, during the halftime, about 5 gajillion TVs did tune in and then turned it off.
So, for those who want the receipts, the Super Bowl, the viewership, 123.7 million viewers watched the actual game. Now let's talk about halftime. Halftime. That's a separate little 15, 20, 30-minute window. And they tabulate the viewership for that. So, for the halftime performance, it had a total viewership of $129.1 million.
People.
Yeah. Now, I didn't major in like calculus and physics, but I'm good enough in math to understand that 123.7, even if I round that up to 124, is less than 129.1 million. So 5 million more people wound up tuning in and watched the halftime performance. And then they went back to right around 120, whatever was 123. So
and listen, we're fair. I'm a fair person. I'm not into football, but listen, folks, especially in the second half of the game, people were going crazy because it went into overtime and, and all of that and the whole Taylor Swift and her guy and, this being, and then us having the black quarterback.
Patrick Mahomes. And the first time, sports fans, the first time a team in the NFL won back-to-back championships in 20 years. Since the Cheetahs in New England and Shady Brady and Bill Belichick. So there was a lot of dynamics, a lot of factors
So my only gripe is, why is it that we can't ever be included?
That's all we saying, y'all.
That's all. We were at the party too. Taylor was not the only person there.
And she didn't perform at all, not even for
No.
20 seconds. As a matter of fact, she
So,
was minding her own little business.
and I'm not mad at Taylor.
Not
I'm
at
just
all.
saying
Not at all.
Usher was there.
He performed at halftime, not Taylor Swift.
Yes.
Saying that's not
And
no
he
shade
did a
in
wonderful
Taylor.
job.
Right. Taylor, because
That's all.
really, she ain't asking for the cameras to follow her. She like, look, I'm good, y'all. I'm really just trying to be here. I'm supporting my man. And y'all, the damn directors and producers keep telling, take the shot of Taylor. She just minding her own business.
And that's all I'm saying today, the whole day, is that being Black, we got to work harder, smarter, and prove ourselves all the time. And we are tired of it. Sometimes we want to be average like everybody else.
And for Black people, especially black women, but Black men too, because I've heard some Black men say the same thing. And look, and I get it. Yes, was it the wisest decision for Fani Willis to date this dude? But Key, I can imagine when they started dating, she had no idea that she was going to be in a position where she would wind up charging
the president
of the United States with trying to steal an election in her state.
Right. Who? I mean, listen.
I'm sure that was not on her bingo card. Nowhere, anywhere, nowhere at all.
And if that's the case, what do we have to do? We have to be born and then stay in a bubble, a cage, so we don't do nothing, so that nothing can come back on us for the rest of our lives. I mean, that's why I'm not
right.
And I don't think that it's gonna make a hill of beans.
No, I don't.
This is just noise, as we call it, noise.
Black people, stop with this. Stop doing this. Because let me explain something to you. And we can go ahead, if we want to, we'll shout out Maze real quick. I don't care. The truth is, if you worry about what all white people think, because first of all, white people who are fair-minded, not racist, they get it. But for the MAGA cult and the racists, I don't care how educated you are, how many degrees. I don't care how buttoned up with your suit and tie and your ladies with your business suit with your long skirt and everything and your briefcase and how you articulate the English language, because this language isn't ours to begin with, okay? We speak in somebody else's tongue. It's not our native tongue, but I digress. I don't care how proper and prim and what kind of speaking soft tones and don't come across passionate or angry. The truth is, if they have a racist, bigoted, stereotypical view of you as a black person, it don't matter how you show up.
Yep.
So if you are living to try to please somebody who it has been ingrained in their DNA to see you as inferior, you will never forget it. Be the best version of yourself for you. Because that's all that matters. Like I said, my grandmother's words and my mother. Listen, they don't have a heaven or hell. They may think that they control heaven or hell, but they don't. They don't have a heaven or hell to put you in, just like you don't have a heaven or hell to put them in. So stop worrying about what other, and just because, and we got to stop with, well, you know, if this one black person, if they do it wrong, then that's how they see all of us, and that's a reflection on all of us. No, it isn't.
No, it isn't.
If I go do something crazy, that's on me. That ain't got nothing to do with Keela Carson, and vice versa.
Right. And we do have some black codes, and I'm just being honest. And we need to make that more of our black code. Like one of our black codes is, for example, not to air our dirty laundry, right?
Yeah.
That's a black code. We need to stop speaking against each other, especially in these high profile situations where people can misunderstand what's going on. And honestly, for a lot of those kinds of people, it doesn't make their life easier either. You sitting up calling Fani subpar and ignorant, and that's not helping you. That's not helping you at all. As a Black person, you've alienated yourself twice now. Your own people and the people who you think you're siding with, they don't want no parts of you either, because they're like, anybody who would go against their own people, don't want, so you're not helping yourself. No. Just saying.
That's right.
Just saying.
That ain't gonna help
Mic
you
drop.
That ain't gonna help you with Massa, not at all.
Nope. Nope.
He still ain't gonna let you in the big house.
Yep.
Take
still
your
gonna be a
ass out
slave.
there in the house and get back to work.
Yep, you're still the same.
Happy birthday.
And matter of fact, you're worse, because they have more respect for Kunta.
Come on
trying
now.
to run.
Say that part, Keela Carson. Come on.
Yeah.
Tell the truth, shame the devil.
Yeah. Underneath it all. Yeah.
Happy birthday to the weekend. He's 34 today. Lupe Fiasco, rapper from the Chi, from Chicago. Lupe Fiasco, 42 today. Tracy Morrow. Here's a remarkable story of a man who released a song back in the late 80s, Cop Killer, that had the FBI basically wanted to arrest his ass. Mm-hmm. And now he was a rapper who wasn't the greatest rapper, who was really a dude from the streets, who's been on one of the most popular TV shows, Law and Order, Special Victims Unit, and of all the things, the man that gave you the song Cop Killers has been playing
a cop.
Shout out to Ice-T. He turned 66 today. That's a hell of a, how do you pull that off?
Listen, that's who we are.
That's who we are. Right. Wait, Key, I would have loved to just been a fly in that meeting, because they just sit around and like all the white producers and everything. Well, we need to get a minority to play this, and then somebody brought it. What about this? They probably didn't even know who Ice-T was, or they probably didn't know he made a song by Cop Killer. That probably was a benefit.
And listen, the thing is that it was Mario Van Peebles and
New Jack City.
New Jack City.
Right. That's a great. That is right. Very good. I had
flipped the script.
I didn't think about it. He sure did. He played an undercover cop.
That's right.
In New Jack City. To Nino Brown, the classic line. Don't worry.
That's right.
I got your back.
Sit your fat down.
Oh yeah, he was man. Ice-T was cold blooded. LeVar Burton, Mr. Kunta Kinte.
Oh, and PBS with my books.
Yes,
I love LeVar Burton.
Reading Rainbow.
Reading Rainbow.
For years, the host for years, and all you Trekkies, the TV show Star Trek: The Next Generation, from 87 to 94.
Yeah.
He was like I think one of the lieutenants. I can't think of the name of his character. So, happy heavenly birthday to like Southern Soul Blues R&B singer Marvin Cease, born on this day.
Marvin Cease,
1946. He's from South Carolina. He joined the Ancestors in 2011, and James Ingram. Oh my God, one of the great voices.
Yeah.
And a good dude.
Just once.
Yep. Him and Patti LaBelle, and just Quincy Jones put him on when I was out working radio doing mornings in LA. I got a chance to meet James a couple times. He was just really, he was cool. He was funny. He had a great sense of humor. Just a good dude. Died way too soon, tragically. Came down with brain cancer. He was born on this day in 1952. Just short, I think like a couple days or weeks short of his, I think he was just about to turn 65 or 66. So
that's young.
Happy birthday. All right, getting out of here some good news, on a good note, or some good news. Well, I don't know, because if you're a Mays fan like I am, get ready. The I Want to Thank You Farewell Tour is going to be kicking off March 22nd in Atlanta, State Farm Arena, and then it's going to wrap up May 12th. That's the day after Mother's Day.
Well, I'm sure to be jam-packed because
in LA.
Frankie Beverly and Mays have not released the album in
40 years.
Okay, 40. I thought 30. Okay, 40
Since
years.
the 80s. Since sometime in the 80s.
And their concerts are always packed. Always packed. So I can't even imagine. It might be hard to get a ticket. since this
I'm
is a
sure it will be.
farewell tour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it will
So you
be.
better get on top of it if you want them.
And we all got some great Frankie Beverly and Mays.
Oh
Look,
yeah.
I've seen Frankie so many times. I remember in his heyday, and I'm sure this was around the same time. So I would think this had to be. This was like the the whole '80s is when they was really at their peak.
Oh yeah, they were. Yeah,
From the
killing it.
early '80s all the way to the end of the '80s, but like
Yeah.
that mid '80s period, early '80s.
Yeah.
I remember Frankie Beverly and Mays came to Chicago at a venue called the Airy Crown. It was like almost 5,000 people seats. They did the Airy Crown. They must have did like 8 shows damn near.
Wow.
There was a whole weekend.
Wow.
They had like 2 shows like Friday or 2 or 3. I kid you not. And they
Wow.
the whole weekend. And then
That
the thing was,
that must have been historic.
He would come back 6 months later and sell out the Airy Crown again.
Wow.
I'm sure it was like that in Detroit.
Well, I mean, he's never done 8 shows that I ever heard of in
Now,
Detroit.
I may be off by a little bit, but I guarantee that specifically, he 3 nights at the Airy Crown.
But he could do
a 7:30 and a 10:30 show, so it was at least 6.
But Frankie has done 3-4 days.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm talking
about. In Detroit. Yes. But 8 shows, man, that's crazy. But listen, you know, Frankie Beverly is one of those shows where you go to, you don't have to work. That's when I learned that I'm gonna leave my hair braided, put on a pair of jeans. You know, you could take a cooler back in those days, depending on the venue. Sit on the grass, and I ain't gonna say what else was going on on the grass, but it was, and everybody was sharing. People share their food, and it was communal. A Frankie Beverly concert. So yeah, I'm gonna hate to see that's a part of our history that I'm going to miss.
Yes, right.
Yes,
because there's no artist that has been played at more, backyard barbecues and cookouts.
Oh
and,
yeah,
everybody go over.
Before I Let Go.
Go to Big Mama's house, the mother or whatever. The matriarch of the family in the summertime, the family reunion. And what's the one song that you put on, either the DJ or whoever in the family trying to play the DJ? They know they put on that one. Come on now.
That Before I Let Go and dun dun dun. Whoa whoa! Everybody.
Just
up.
Everybody from the grandmother that's the matriarch that's 80 to the great great grandchild is 8. Everybody.
Yep. Everybody's boogieing. Yeah. Well, good job to Frankie Beverly and Mays. You have my respect, and get your tickets because this is going to be historic. Yeah.
And when the tour is over, he's gonna go back home to Philly, because the original name of the band was Raw Soul.
Soul. I didn't know that.
And they formed a band in Philly, then went out to the Bay Area. Frankie was actually Marvin Gaye's drummer for a while, and Marvin Gaye put them on. Yeah,
that's why they made that song, Marvin. Gonna be some sweet song. Yeah, that Yeah.
So
when was it? Night Shift? Is that?
Yeah. Well, I think the Commodores. No.
But not the night. Yeah.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Sorry.
Yes.
You're right. But Frankie did mention Marvin in a song. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely did. Yeah. Absolutely. Keela Carson, the one, the only. I love you, Key. Thank you. You're the best. That's right. I don't care who Regis and Howard Stern and Lucy or Desi and Steve Harvey and Shirley Strawberry and you name the duo, I don't give a damn. None of them got Miss Keela Carson, y'all. She is.
Thank you, G.
She is.
Love you.
I love you more. She was the song back in the 90s. I'm gonna rewrite the song. There was a song. Key remember this back in the 90s or early 2000s. I think it was the 90s. There was a song called "Your Love Is the."
Oh yeah.
Right. So if y'all not in the culture, just Google it. I can't hear. It was a one-hit wonder.
But,
right. My co-host is the she.
Yes.
Your mother says hello, Key. Yes.
Hi, Mom. In Chicago. Hey.
All right, Detroit City. Love you, Key. We'll see you next week. Thank you. That's Keila Carson, y'all. Hey, listen, thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you. You and especially you, God, most of all, thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show. Tell everybody to subscribe to this channel. Watch me live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. on the West Coast. And if you miss me live, don't worry about it. I got you. You can binge watch all my back episodes, all my great guests, Ronald Isley, Lettucey, Howard Hewitt, Kenny Lattimore, Jimmy Jams, Harry Lewis, Lenny Williams, Roy Chip Anthony, all my Southern Soul fans. Too many artists to name, and my monologues are always fire. So go back and binge watch any episode. Shout out to Markel Bailey, my official barber and hairstylist, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show, the CEO of Designer Cuts here in the Charleston, South Carolina Metro. Check him out on IG, Instagram, Kel B Cutting Up, KELBECUTTINUP. Allie Jones, she is the drip director, the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. You can check her and her collections out on IG, on Instagram, LX.NCL_LO dash at the end of LX.NCL on IG, on Instagram. Have a great weekend. We'll see you live Monday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, but the Geno Jones Show will be here 24/7, 366 days this year because it's a leap year. So we got 29 days in this month of February. So always here for you. Anytime you want to watch, go back and watch any episode if you missed it. Even if you did miss it, go back and watch it again and see and hear something that you may have missed the first time you saw it, or the second time, or the third time. We'll see you Monday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, or maybe you'll see me whenever you come back and binge watch any or all of my back episodes. I love you. I really do. Thanks for watching. See you Monday, live, 6:30 p.m. Eastern.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.